This is Joe from PrepAgent.com, trying to make concepts simple so you can get your career off the ground. Lien theory and title theory. What does it mean? It has to do with the way each state interprets mortgage law. Each state will fall into one of those categories. Therefore, if your state functions under lien theory, then you should know the most about what lien theory means. If your state functions under title theory, you should know more about what title theory means. All these separate pieces will eventually come together in one beautiful moment where the light bulb will just go off in your head. Each theory has special considerations on who will hold title and how foreclosure proceedings will take place if they were to become necessary. This distinction does not matter if a person always makes their payments on time. If the payments are not made and a foreclosure is needed, there are some important differences between lien theory states and those that recognize title theory ownership. Let's go over some basic differences. But before we get into that, we need to review some terms. First, let's review what is a mortgagor and mortgagee. The mortgagor is the borrower and the mortgagee is the lender. People preparing for the real estate exam, buyers, sellers, real estate brokers, and even bankers get confused sometimes by the difference between mortgagor and mortgagee. The confusion arises because they're mixed up about who actually does the mortgaging. Most home buyers say they'll go to a lender to get a mortgage, and real estate brokers say they will find a bank to give you a mortgage, when in reality it is the home buyer who is giving a mortgage to the bank. A mortgage is a financial claim against your property. The home buyer signs a document giving a lien to the lender, and in return they give the home buyer money. This way the lender receives security interest in the property until it is repaid in full. It is the home buyer who mortgages the property. The home buyer is the one doing the giving. The lender takes the mortgage and holds it until the debt is paid off. The person who performs the action is the or. That makes the borrower the mortgagor. The bank or the lender takes the mortgage, and the recipient is always the EE. That makes the bank the mortgagee. The other term you should know is legal title versus equitable title. Legal title gives a party such as a lender or a trustee the right to sell. Equitable title gives a party the right to use and possess the property. And of course, you must know what the word lien means. Lien means you owe money. Understanding those terms will make it much easier to explain the difference between title theory and lien theory. In title theory, the lender holds legal title to the real estate and the borrower retains equitable title. Equitable title allows the borrower to live on the property, make improvements, lease the property, and enjoy the use of the property as its owner. The lender transfers legal title to the property back to the borrower after the borrower pays off the loan in full. Until that time, if the borrower defaults on the loan, the lender can foreclose easily. In a sense, the lender already owns the home, so the lender can take possession back without a fuss. This is a non-judicial foreclosure. Lien theory ownership is the exact opposite of this practice, and that is its most important distinction. It's harder to foreclose because the borrower is the owner of the home. In lien theory states, the lien is the primary protection that the lender has in the event that the borrower defaults. The lender files a lien with the county clerk or recorder, so the mortgagor can't sell the property with clear title until they satisfy the loan. The mortgagor holds legal title and equitable title to the real estate securing the mortgage, while the mortgagee's interest in real estate is in the form of a lien on the property. The mortgagee releases the lien once the mortgage is paid in full by the borrower. In a lien theory state, because the borrower holds complete title to the home, the lender can't just knock on the door, demand the keys, and tell the borrower to leave if they run into financial trouble and miss some payments. The lender must first petition the court for permission to use the mortgage lien against the property to foreclose. Without court permission, the lender is powerless to take the home. This is a judicial foreclosure, and it's more time-consuming and expensive for the lender than the procedure in place in title theory states. This typically gives the borrower more time to remedy whatever problem caused them to fall behind with the mortgage payments. Non-judicial foreclosures can occur in states that are lien theory as well. For example, California is a lien theory state, but it allows for a non-judicial foreclosure because it recognizes deeds of trust. Under deed of trust, the buyer, who would need to be considered the trustor, signs a deed of trust which makes the lender the beneficiary. A third party known as a trustee typically receives legal title to the property with the power to foreclose on the buyer if there is default. The buyer owns the property and has all the rights of ownership and possession. subject only to the condition of the deed of trust. When the loan has been paid off, a deed of reconveyance would be recorded. The deed of reconveyance removes the lender's interest in the property. Some states have modified the title and lien theories, and these states are referred to as intermediary theory states. In these states, the title remains with the borrower, but the lender may take back title to the property if the borrower defaults on the loan. Remember, the significance of the type of state you live in kicks in when somebody defaults on the mortgage and the lender starts the foreclosure process. Therefore, if you are looking to buy foreclosed properties out of your state, this is something you will learn more about as your real estate career progresses. This is Joe from PrepAgent.com, trying to make these concepts simple so you can get your career off the ground.